On to the last topic of the day. We're going to go ahead and go to what Stephen A. Smith had to say about Kamala Harris's political career. Now, she actually came out with a book as of late, explaining a lot of things that was taking place during the time of her presidential run.
Students, you were the vice president when Joe Biden was the president, when he clearly was a bit diminished. I never blamed her for not saying anything. Who's going to dime out their boss? But what could have happened collectively was for folks within the Democratic Party to rally and insist and ultimately do what they ended up doing in July of 2024 when they forced Joe Biden to step down and acknowledge that he was not going to run for re-election. You might not have been able to get him.
Yeah, I don't know how YouTube, even with me doing this the way I'm doing this, YouTube might be on my hands about this copyright. We're gonna deal with that.
To leave office at that particular moment in time, nor should you have, because he was in office. You ride the wave. But for folks to try to sell the American people that man could give you 4 more years was such an egregious miscalculation on the part of the Democrats.
Absolutely, bro. Like, to be honest with you, I thought it was absolutely insane. They try to make excuses and say, oh, Trump's old too. But yes, he didn't have major signs of decline the way Joe Biden was. Like, bro, it was multiple videos where dude was moving literally like a robot. And like, you'll ask him certain stuff. Like, after the debate, he was cooked after the debate, bro. Like, dude wasn't even able to think straight. And they were trying to sell to us that he was the best candidate for the Democratic Party. But in my opinion, they had a bigger agenda for that anyway. But I'll talk about that after he finishes.
Democratic Party, anybody associated with it, whether directly or indirectly, is toast. And there's no way you're winning an election. So I sincerely hope that Kamala Harris is making this decision with the understanding that she's got a lot of things to achieve in her life that she can achieve. She's smart, she's educated, she's a former vice president, she's a former senator, she's a former prosecutor, a former state attorney general. There's a lot of things that she can do. She just don't need to have herself thinking about the presidency of the United States. That ain't gonna happen. There, in my opinion, there is no way in hell she would win the Democratic nomination, let alone the presidency, in 2028.
Okay. So first off, let me go ahead and put this out here first. Stephen A. is just trying to do this for clout. That's first off. Like, he last year started trying to ride the wave of, being a politician, getting into politics. Even though, like, a lot of people be saying, it seems as if he don't even really know he don't know that much about, the political space. He's trying to get into it. For one thing, it's very beneficial as far as, the benefits that come with and the financials. Although, you don't supposed to be making that much money in politics, but politicians are crooks. So that's first up. But second, I don't know. I'm gonna say this. I think if Kamala Harris was able to win the Democratic nominee again, I think she may actually have a strong chance at winning it all. That's my opinion. But here's the problem. She's not going to be able to win the Democratic nominee. That's the problem. She didn't win it this year. It's crazy how they did all that talk about democracy, and yet you forced her to be the nominee. She was never elected. And not the year before, but the presidential term before that, she actually ran and lost miserably because she got destroyed by Tulsi. What's her name? Tulsi Gabbard, I believe her name is. So I believe their plan all along was, we know Joe is declining. We're trying to find a way to push Kamala on them. The only way we can do this is if we have Joe step down the last minute. And that way they won't have enough time to elect a new nominee. So we can just choose who they're going to pick for. That's what they did. It was all a plan to try to get that done. And they thought they were going to be able to succeed at it. But it seems like, it backfired. I don't care for either side, Democrat or Republican. They're all the same in my book. Pass the laws needed and go on. So, and that's what I agree with you on. Neither one of them is very favorable for it. But like I said, in my opinion, I think, just my opinion, I do think that it's better off when you're allowed to be able to sink or swim. And in my opinion, I think Republicans give you the opportunity to sink or swim. Now, the Democrats may not necessarily put you in a position to necessarily sink, but you're not going to allow you to swim either. They're like the people that give you a float and say, hey, okay, you good. You're never going to be able to swim, but at least you won't drown, right? And you can't flourish that way. You're staying the same. And their form of the float that I'm speaking of is, we'll give you food stamps. We'll give you, assistance. Women, if you keep your man out the house, we'll give you an apartment and all that. We'll take care of you. As long as you are reliant on them to consistently do that for you, your mind, most of the people, not all, but most of the people are going to be in the mindset where you're going to be like, hey, I don't really not got to do more. Look at what I got. I'm good. I'm able to go get me something that I want to get. I got me a roof over my head, stuff like that. You're never going to see the bigger picture because they're putting you in a position where you're comfortable. When you're uncomfortable, you're always going to be, if you are really a go-getter, you're going to always be thriving, saying, I want more. I want more. I'm going to push for more and more and more. It might be time for me to unsubscribe from this channel when you give people the power to crash out over emotions. I mean, if that's what you decide you want to do, man, that's you. But like I said, I told him to only block people if they're bothering people in the chat, cursing people out. You're not going to change what my rules and regulations to the channel are because you don't like it. What I said is, you're not going to disrespect people on the channel, calling them B words, calling them P words. I said that. That's for anybody. If he was to start doing that, the same rules apply for him. I would get rid of him. That's always been what I said. So just because you think I should make him a moderator so he can't do that, that's your opinion, bro. But it's not going to change. As you know, I mess with you. I like you as a person. I'm just saying, you're not going to come on the channel and tell me how I should be controlling and how I'm going to run it. If you want to subscribe, I mean, that's up to you if you want to unsubscribe. But I'm not going to just make this dude a moderator because you feel like he should be. Now, support was to go against what I tell him to do. I'm like, hey, don't, like I told him, stop blocking and timing people out for having an opinion. I told him that. When you first announced it, I told him that. Do not time nobody out or unsubscribe or block them, I meant, just because they have an opinion. That's their own opinion. We're not going to stop people from having an opinion. But what you're not going to do is come on the platform and disrespect people. Tulsi Gabbard, yeah, that's who I was talking about. Contradict himself and mad because other content creators blocked him, so he blocks the tribes who disagree with him. Okay, and like I told you, he's not going to come on this channel and do that. To be honest with you, I actually monitor my block list now to pay attention to see if I see anybody new on there. At first, I didn't do that. But now I actually routinely go on there and look at it to see, hey, who's on the block list that I feel like shouldn't be on there. And then if I see somebody on there, I'm like, hey, why was this person blocked? Then I'll get to the bottom of it of why. And that's been a lot told. I work for adult government agencies. The man can be in the house if both parties are up under the poverty income. I don't know about that. See, like, this is the stuff I'm talking about. Like, he's consistently doing. Because then I could end up getting a bigger crowd. Let's say he don't like them. He starts doing it to them. They unsubscribe because of that. I'm losing people because he's constantly doing it. Some people are fine with it. They'll just ignore it. But some people don't like stuff like that. Like, they're not with this. To be honest with you, it's kind of childish doing this. That's why I be thinking this got to be a child. And hey, DeMarcus, when he did that, what happened? I undid it and told him not to do it no more. But anyways, I'm waiting on your response, Ali, before I get up out of here. We almost at the hour mark. I love to see, because you said that it's not true about I would have to do more research on it. I'm not gonna lie, like I just 100% no, because I'm not. But from what my knowledge is, in order to receive it, and maybe it's certain states, you also have to consider that you have different laws in different states. So it could be where you at. But what I'm saying is, from what I know, they even had it in BMF, goddamn it, that if you have a man up in the house and stuff like that, they're not gonna. And even if it is an income-based thing, let's be honest, the odds of you getting that with another man in the house is significantly low, because your incomes combined is probably going to be overqualified. So what's going to be the odd? What's going to be the solution to be able to get that free? What's going to be the solution to leave, to get that free housing? It's going to be, get rid of the man. Now you get free housing. False idols out here trying to play God. They're going to have to answer for all this BS they putting on us, trying to hide our origin. Be creative. Hey, I agree with you on that. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm gonna wait on your response. I'll give it about 3 more minutes possibly, and then I'm gonna get ready to close this thing out. One of the things I'm happy to say, I actually finally went ahead and hired somebody to edit some of my videos, so I ain't gotta waste too much time doing it. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, doing edits and stuff is time consuming. That's why some of these and stuff that I be having, it be coming out later. Because like, bro, it be a bitch editing all these damn videos. All right, though. So I figured it on DeMarcus, but hey, he didn't do it, and he's not going to do it. Like I said, trolling is fine with me. Just make sure it's respectful trolling. Yes, you can be married and all as long as you both are not over the 60K. They can be on cases together. But 60K? Like, think about that. That's basically what I'm saying. Like, what's the likelihood on the average? Let's be honest. On the average in America, most people let's just use the black community. On the average, they make $40,000 a year, and it's close to the same for the black woman. You know, I think black men on the average make around 43K a year. The black woman make around 40. That's a combined income of $80,000. You're going to be well over that, threshold. So that's pretty much what I was saying. They know that if you have a man in the house, the likelihood of you qualifying for that is slim. And unfortunately, the new wave of women that we have, they want to be in control of everything. So they're like, hey, I don't need him. I can get a government assisted housing where I can run stuff the way I want to run it and not have him around. Because if I get rid of him, I'm going to be under that 60K that you're talking about. And now I qualify. So basically, pretty much that's what I'm talking about. Get them out the house. You get free housing. You get welfare. You get all this money and food stamps. Look, Michael, can you please chill out? I'm actually asking you, dude. Like, bro, just chill out. Stop doing this crap. Wherever you are, just stop doing it. Leave. I thought I remember seeing you before, Nuke. I was thinking, like, I don't think he's new. I think you may have commented before, but you, like you said, never came into a live. I looked him up trying to hear to power theories, but saw he was live talking about worldly stuff, so I had to come and spread the word. Yeah, I actually touch on stuff like that too. I do a lot of course, power content, but I've been expanding into more things. Why would I let them ban you, dude? I don't even understand what you're asking. People lost jobs and one parent is working. What do you mean with that? Well, yeah, most people don't read, so or pay attention to things that they should pay attention to. So they're not going to see it. They just follow the trend of what that goes back to what we were just talking about with the elites control. They spread propaganda and tell you this is what it is, and you believe it and follow it. Anyways, though, you can't see whose comments. Yeah, I'm about to go ahead and close this thing out. Got some more stuff to do. Appreciate that. And appreciate everybody who stopped through for the morning show. Like usual, we'll be back up and running later on tonight. More great topics. But until then, another 12 hours or so. A little less than that, Ashley. Yes, ma'am, Talia. We'll be back tonight. Probably hit that 10 out, like 10 o'clock mark. But yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all later on down there, around 10 o'clock tomorrow. I mean 10 o'clock tonight, sorry.